You're watching E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do our review for The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 4, Slabtown. Now, this episode, it's not that it was a bad episode. It wasn't bad. I mean, I enjoyed it. The hospital storyline, obviously getting to see Beth again for the first time in God knows how many episodes. I think 5 or 6 episodes. But I do have an issue with the fact that this saga is still somewhat going. And to further complicate the saga, now Carol's involved. So, it's not, and it wasn't a bad episode. It wasn't. I thought it really continued that whole theme of things getting very dark, very bleak, and really still kind of portraying on that whole, the edge of the seat type deal with Beth being in the situation, with these guards who are just psychotic rapists, a lead, I shouldn't say guards, they're cops, but a leader cop who is just mentally unstable, and then a doctor who is willing to do anything to make sure he remains safe. So it was an interesting story. It was definitely had some great moments, and definitely put Beth in a different position than she's ever been in before, because there's no one there for her to really rely on except herself. And she finally stepped up, and we saw her do things that we really haven't seen her do before. I mean, we've seen her shoot a gun, but there was just a certain aggression about her as the episode progressed that really kind of fleshed her out a little bit more, and it makes her a little bit more intriguing. With that said, I kind of want the saga to be over, and now I think we're kind of heading into what I like to call the danger zone, because now looking at the coming attractions after the episode, it looks like we're going to get an episode that's focused on Abraham, Glenn, and that group that's heading to DC, which means that, and if that's true, we don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing here. But if that's the case, then now you have a storyline that's hanging in the balance with Carol, Daryl, Noah, and Beth, and still the group at the church waiting for them. And then we're going to get that on pause, what it looks like, only to get another episode of Abraham and this group before we even have a chance to revert back. So, and it's not that these episodes are going to be bad, but it's just, I mean, I don't know. This Beth thing's been going on for so long now. And it's great that we saw her, but I really think the character needs to be out of this situation. Because regardless of the fact that it was great to see her again, and it was great that she stepped up, Beth has not been doing these things long enough to convince me that she can make it on her own very far. So to me, and this is just my opinion, the more they drag out this saga with her being in the hospital, the more likely, the more I am to find it a little bit unbelievable, based on how they really have structured her character up to this point. Because even when she was with Daryl, she had Daryl. There was very little she did on her own. Daryl was there to fight off most of the walkers, and the one time that she did try to go out on her own, it was pretty close that she died. So now she's in to be in a hospital full of, cops, and then being surrounded by walkers, I'm not convinced that she can make it out of there on her own. And she probably won't. Maybe Daryl and Noah come back and save her along with the group. That's probably what's going to happen. But I just feel it should have happened here. You know what I mean? I just feel, I think if they would have cut off the whole trying to escape thing, but now it looks like it has the potential to prolong, because now we need to figure out how Carol got there. And if we're going to have an episode that's going to at least give us 15 to 20 minutes of how Carol ended up in this situation, we look like we might have to wait for even that, because it looks like we're going to get an episode with Abraham, Glenn, and that crew. So, it was a good episode in terms of story, but I'm just kind of like, all right, can we just move past this? Because for me personally, Beth is not convincing me. She just doesn't convince me to go too far along with her own little story. But we'll see how it plays out. Other than that, the episode was good. It did have a lot of good story. It did present us another group from a different perspective, because, you got the termites who are, whacked out cannibals. Now you have these people who are kind of like on a borderline of insanity, because they still, they still know right from wrong. They're just making choices to make their life easier. For example, Dawn allows her guards to rape women and do the things they want, so she doesn't have to worry about disciplining them as much. and then the doctor, who seemed like a nice guy and helped Beth and is helping people, set Beth up to as the scapegoat for the murder of another doctor because he wanted to provide himself with his own security. So here you have another group that our group is probably going to have to face off against. And this is just another type of group that you would find in the zombie apocalypse. And the thing of it is that, let's face it, once Rick and this group get here to save Beth, they're going to slay this group. This group has no experience outside of the hospital except for minor runs. They don't have, they're sitting there thinking they're going to get saved, and it's not the case. So, I mean, this is just another group that's going to carry us over until the mid-season finale. I don't think they're going to make it to episode 8. This group is not, there's no way I can see this group going no more than 1, maybe 2 episodes, because they are less seasoned than the Terminus group, and the Terminus group got torn apart in 3 episodes. So I see this group, if this group makes it to episode 8, I'm going to be a little bit peeved because I just don't buy it. They're not seasoned. Most of them are just, the men cops in the place are just looking to get laid. Most of them can't help themselves. So if Rick and his group struggle against this group, that's going to be a little bit of bullshit to me. But we'll see how it plays out. I'm just saying. I do like the way they set the tone right away in the episode. The minute Dawn looks at Beth and says, "We owe you owe us." Right there, you knew, all right, this shit's going down. It was very creepy with Gorman and Beth. Like, this is horrible. But when he started putting the lollipop in her mouth, I just kept, it just was something about that wasn't right. Like, I kept picturing all these horrible, like, X-rated themed memes. Like, oh, come on, baby, put it in your mouth. And it's just, and then Beth is like, and it just, I understand what they were going for there. Just for me, I found it more funny than kind of eerie because it just, he's like this, she's like, so, but other than that, it was somewhat terrifying to see her dealing with that because, you know, a lot of people view Beth as, oh, innocent Beth and, you know, this and that. And the idea of her getting raped is not a good feeling. It really isn't, especially from some grotesque cop, you know, that's just like, oh, come on, baby, maybe we can make an arrangement. It's just this very creepy, downright bottom feeder kind of guy. And, but Beth being very clever and finally realizing that she's learned a lot more than maybe she's given herself credit for, set him up to be eaten by Joan, who was laying on the floor and was murdered, and turned right on time to chomp at the bits. So then we met Noah, and Noah, obviously, I know a lot of you guys really go out there and spoil this stuff for you. Like, you guys were like on point this whole week. It's Noah, and this is what's going to happen. It's Noah, and this is going to happen. And I'm like, wow, I mean, how do these guys, and obviously, I mean, the spoilers are out there and you guys check them out, but damn, yeah, right down the middle, huh? So Noah pops up, and I got the feeling, even though Beth was smiling at the end of the episode, initially, I thought he just left her. Like, you know, when she was looking at him, it was like, oh man, she looks pissed, like he left her. And then she started smiling, so I was kind of unsure. Was she happy that he got away? Or was she pissed that he kind of left her for dead? I kind of take it as he left her for dead. And that's probably why Daryl is so like, come on out. You know, he probably witnessed it. Maybe that's something we'll catch in the next episode or two. But it was a good episode. It was good. It was definitely presented a different group perspective and how people are dealing with their zombie apocalypse. There's still people out there waiting to be rescued. And as they wait, they start to lose their sanity and they start to do some questionable things, especially all the raping that was going on in that hospital. And Beth is caught in the middle of it. And, you know, you have an abusive leader, her subordinates who are men who are raping people, a doctor who's only looking out for himself, and one guy who you escape with and he fucking bounces on you. And then Carol comes in, and I think Beth is going to keep it on the low that she knows Carol. She looked very surprised, but she didn't blurt it out, I know her, which is probably a smart move, probably a very smart move at this point, because if she did blurt that out, then Dawn would probably kill Carol just to spite Beth. So a good episode. I'm not happy that the saga continues. And I won't be happy if next week it's all about Abraham and them. Not because that won't be a good episode, but I really think they need to finish this portion up. I think that we need to find out how Carol got in there right away, put an end to the saga, either rescue Beth or have her killed, whatever. There's rumors are going around that Carol's supposed to die. If she does, it wouldn't surprise me because of how much of an impact she's had on the show in the beginning of the season. You know how that whole theme goes. When you step up as a big character, usually a couple episodes later you get killed. So, but we'll see what happens. But overall, it was a good episode. Not as good as the other ones I've seen so far. So, and I'm not too happy with the fact that the Beth saga continues. The longer she survives there on her own, the more I'm kind of like detaching myself from that little saga. Because while it was badass to see her doing the things she did, she really isn't the kind of character to be on her own. She really isn't. So, she's very dependent on others. She's capable, but she is dependent on others. So, but we'll see what happens. So, that's it for this video. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit E.T.N's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description.